Thank you for being here with us. I am a writer, a philosopher, a speaker, and a mentor. I have combined writing coaching and editing into a hybrid form, so to help people who are in business to write their books. I do ghostwriting myself, and of course, web copy. So, quick question, if you would just answer me quickly in the comment in the chat. Who here considers themselves to be a salesman? I see, oh, not me. Nope. 2 yeses, 2 nopes, and then I try. Okay. No. To be better at it. Okay. Well, the correct answer actually is that everyone is a salesman. Everyone here, whether you believe so or not, you are in fact a salesman. Which brings us to our next question, because this is what's important for your website. What about your writing skills? Are you a good writer? Yes, Ish. Okay, the answer again is yes, an affirmative yes, because you are the only expert on your story, and that is going to be a key in what we're talking about here today. And the whole key to being a good writer is not necessarily like, do you have perfect punctuation, and are you technically proficient in every single aspect? The main point that we're looking for and that you need to remember in web copy is that you are the expert on your story, and that you have to tell your story with the same kind of passion and enthusiasm that you would want your customers to have for your product. So, oh, thank you. Welcome, Harry. What is copywriting or copy? Copywriting is the art of crafting persuasive messages that inspire people to take action. If you have a product or a service and you want them to, you want people to use it, you have to let them know why. You have to persuade them. You want them to come to the conclusion themselves that this is what I've been missing, this is what I need to help me get to the next level in business or in other areas of their life, whether it be just straight up consumerism, or if they need something, your service to help them to learn how to be better, like coaching or an event or something that they need help planning that they can't do by themselves. So the first step in this, and I'll run through 5 major points in order to get this across, but the key things that we're looking here, the first one is the most important part, and it goes to knowing who your audience is, and it's to connect to your audience's pain points. So your clients generally buy to minimize or eliminate their pain. So I have an ad here, which is a great example of copy, because it's from Geico, and it says, so easy, a caveman can do it, and you could save hundreds on car insurance. They've actually recognized 2 pain points that you have in your in this advertisement. Insurance is hard to get, it's difficult to obtain, and it's expensive. So they're saying to you, they're speaking to you, because you can never convince someone to buy. You have to persuade them. So here's Geico trying to persuade you that we make car insurance, or insurance period, easy. So easy even a caveman could do it, and you could save hundreds. So right there, they've acknowledged 2 pain points and they've given you a solution, which brings me to my second point. Tell them the answer to their pain point. Make them change their mind about what they think about your product or service. Make them feel that car insurance or insurance in general, it's not easy. It actually is easy. It's easy to get, and it doesn't have to be expensive. And so it's a great example of a copy of people reaching out, identifying pain points, and then saying, but we'll alleviate for you. We're persuading you because we will make it easy for you. So if you're a coach, the whole thing is, you want people to come to their conclusions, make their life easier for themselves. Excuse me. And be persuaded that they can do it. The same thing in sales. If you are selling a product or a service, my service will help you, and it'll persuade you at the same time that yes, you can do it, and it does not have to be hard. Number 3, keep it simple. The easy button is one of the best examples of this. It's good copy on the part of Staples because it combines an image and a concept of making things easy for you. When you go to the store, you don't want to be sitting there looking through 5,000 things and you don't know what they are and you have a problem with them. So Staples makes it so easy, it's like pushing a button and you're good. Give the trailer version of the story. You want to keep your message simple. You want the people to whet their appetite, but not give them too much. You want to see like the trailer. So it's flashy, it's spectacular, it's engaging and draws you in and convinces you to take action because you want more. And that's what you want to do with your copy on your website. You don't want to inundate people. You don't want them to be confused about who it is that you're looking for, what it is that you're doing. You want them to always want to come to you and I always want more. So like when movie trailers, you get a sneak peek about what's going to be in the movie and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see that. The same thing should be done in regards to your website. They see your services, they're like, oh, that's great, I really need that. And so now they want more. And so they're ready to engage and to actually act for you and with you because you're calling them to act in such a way that they're hooked. Their appetite has been whet and they're ready for more. This is probably the most important thing that you can do on your website in terms of your copy. Always, 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 always have a call to action. Whether you want people to sign up for your email newsletter, your mailing list of, for upcoming classes or something else like that, any type of opt-ins, you want to make sure that that's readily accessible to them and calling them to do that. It's the same way if you want them to buy a product, you have to make it so that you can easily put your product in the cart. It's easy to buy. You just click a button and do it. If you want to book a call, have a chat with the person. If you want to see how they are, talk to you about what they're doing, what their business is, what their mission is. You need to have that call of action, and you can have multiple calls of action on the same page. That's okay. Bonus tips. Avoid jargon. If you are in an industry and there's lots of technical jargon in it, like the medical industry, you have to remember who your audience is. You don't want to use technical jargon on them because you may know these things, you may know these words, but if you're not specifically targeting people in the medical field and you're using types of words like that, they're not going to understand, or it's going to be off-putting to them because they're going to see this and be like, well, I guess this is good, but you're not speaking to them. It's almost as if you're speaking above them, or, you know, not to them directly. And so you lose that kind of engagement with them. I liken this to kind of like having eye contact with people. When you're speaking to somebody, you don't have to stare them in the eye the whole time, because, you know, that can get a little creepy. But when you're speaking and making points, you should make eye contact with them so that they know and they can see you, that you're being genuine and that you're engaged with them, and that you're speaking directly to them. And it's the same way with jargon. If you're using words that are not common, then people feel like, well, you're not actually writing this to me. You're just, you know, you're writing it, but I don't feel like I'm included in this. So you're probably going to, you know, lose a connection there with them, and you don't want to do that. Next one is to know your audience. You do not want to, this kind of goes into the same concept as jargon. You don't want to speak to your audience in a way that they don't speak. So I'll go ahead and combine this and say the next one, which is speak as one of them. If your audience is highly educated people, and, you know, they're very technical and they speak in a very technical way, you don't want to be totally informal with them. You don't want to, you know, have sloppy writing or slang words on your copy, because they're going to look at that and be like, well, that's not me at all. Because the whole point of it is knowing the audience and speaking as one of them, is that you want them to know that, hey, I get you. I know who you are. I can speak to you, to who you are, and my product or service speaks to you, to who you are and what you need. So we're taking all of the concepts of, you know, knowing their pain points. I know what your pain is, and I'm speaking to you as that way because I understand you. I know what it is that you need, and I'm offering that help. And you want to make sure that you're using the same kind of language that you would. And in writing, one of the best tips that it can ever tell people, and I'll give you this one for free, is when you write, speak it. Once you write something down, speak it out loud. Does it make sense to you? Would you actually say that out loud to somebody else? Because if you write something and you're like, oh, this is great, it sounds really flowery, you know, it sounds very, you know, eloquent, but then when you read it out loud, you're like, well, the people that I'm selling my product to, let's say, you know, electric guitars. If I'm, you know, being very eloquent and very flowery about, you know, my guitars, is that really the way that they speak? You know, what kind of musician are they? What kind of you know, what is it that they're looking for? You don't want to speak Jane Austen to like a metal band, because more than likely they're not going to speak like that, and you're not engaging them directly, and so you've already lost that that engagement opportunity with them, and that opportunity to sell your good or service to them, because you're not speaking their language. This next part goes into the same thing. Know thyself. More often than not, you are your target audience. So you need to know that. Sorry, I just got a question in there. That's a good question, and I will speak to that in just a moment once we're finished up here. So knowing that you're your own target market, you already know what it is that you're trying to help, what it is that you're trying to convey to people. And so now you're looking for an opportunity to actually let them know that you get it. And yeah, this is something that I would buy, which is why I'm doing it, because I know that this is needed. I'm one of you, in terms of, I'm not just speaking as one of you, but I'm actually one of you because I am my target market. And lastly, share what makes you special. I know that, you know, in today's society, everyone, you know, wants to talk about humility and make sure that you're, you know, being polite and everything else. And that's good. Everyone should be humble, but you want to brag on your company just a bit. You want to you want to tell people what makes you special. If you're the best at something, the only way they're going to know that is if you tell them. Don't get crazy. Don't go overboard in telling them. Yes, Elizabeth, we know you are just the best. You want to tell them that, and then you don't want to. You're not being arrogant in telling them that. You're letting them know because you are so passionate about what it is that you do and who you are as a company that this is why you're the best. And by letting people know that, that'll be attractive to them. They'll turn around and be like, oh, well, this person, not only do they get me, but they love what they do. Because I'm sure that you all know, like, when you love to do something, it shows and people can see that. And so you need to have that in your writing. You need to let people know that, I love what I do. The people in our company, we all love what we do, and we're here and we'd like to help you. And, we know you, we understand you, your wants and your needs. We speak as one of you because we are one of you and we love to do what we do. And when you have that enthusiasm, you have that engagement. And the same thing that I would say earlier about speaking it out loud, when you write that, read it back. Because if you read it out loud and you're like, yeah, that excites me because I really love what I do and I'm just so happy to say that out. You can go through and make edits and rearrange sentences and everything. But the most important part of this is the idea, the passion. Because when people get that and you put it in a simple way that people can engage with and understand, you'll really have a good in with your audience and you'll be able to help them and engage them in a much more successful manner. So if you have questions, please either put them in the chat, or if you are feeling a little bit shy, go ahead and send them to me privately and I will answer them without using your name. So I had a question when in terms of speaking their own language, speaking their language, does that mean to use slang? You want to think of slang like apostrophes, or I'm sorry, exclamation marks. You don't want to use too many of them. You want to try and avoid them as much as possible, because exclamation marks are great in text messages when you're excited about something and everything else, but it gets a little too aggressive for people when you have a lot of exclamation marks all over your website. Yes, that's a good example. Thank you, Elizabeth. So it's the same thing with slang. Like, if you use it judiciously and you have a good hook in there and you're going to use slang appropriate, nothing inappropriate, of course, you can do that, but you want to be very, very sparingly with it. If it's just something as part of like a hook in, then yes, you can use slang, but you want to treat it as something that's very rare or very special and should be used accordingly. Is that the same thing for cliches? That's a good question. I absolutely detest cliches. They were great when Shakespeare wrote them because most of the cliches we have come from him. But you don't want to get into that too much. You don't want to have too much hyperbole. You don't want to get into it's the greatest ever. You'll love it. Trust me, it's awesome. You want to have a little bit more description than that. You want to be original, and you can use it sometimes, but again, it's the same thing as with the slang words. You want to use it very sparingly. You don't want to have cliches littering your page, if you get what I mean. Because then it distracts, it takes away, and anything that takes away from your engagement is ruining your ability to call somebody to action. So just saying is more our target audience than its proper writing. or being disrespectful to our audience if we were attempting to speak as they do. Oh, no, 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 no. That's fine. That's something that is a kind of a vernacular-ish phrase kind of way. You don't want to be using too much slang, and of course you want to be careful with what kind of slang words that you use, because you don't want to have anything that's disrespectful or inappropriate. But just saying is something that it's kind of a fun way to engage with your audience and see them like more like a term of endearment, almost like you're using a contraction. That's much different than you know, if you were using, you know, disrespectful street slang or something like that, and you know, somebody will read that and be like, oh my gosh, that's so rude. Why would I want to talk to you? That's what you're doing there is a judicious use, and it's a good. Yes, Google searches may use many misspelled words or street slang, but you do want to be careful about how much street slang you want to use. Again, it should be very sparing, and it does depend on the tone your audience would be used to. Thank you, Bill. You want to have it in moderation. Is there anything else that I can, anything else that you have? Thank you, Donna. All right, well, if we don't have any questions, any further questions, it's your turn. At this point in time, if you would like to, who will be brave and be the first ones in? If you want to put your website into the chat, I will go ahead and we'll do the live audits and we'll start in order. So, who is my first brave soul? Come, come, don't be shy. All right. All right. So the first one. Let me just make that a little bit bigger. All right. Now, the first thing that we need to look at when we're doing this is that we need to know who our audience is. So we're looking here, we're gonna, your health and safety are important, and we're following FSMTV guidelines. So we're the healing arts. I like that you have your COVID-19 message on here to your patients, letting them know about what's going on and that you're taking that seriously. I like your logo. So here we go. This is good. This is a good example of simplicity in writing and answering to your pain point, because, you know, people's health is very important, and we're talking about people who may be in physical pain. So gently healing pain from the inside out. It's a good way of answering your pain point at the same time, keeping it simple. And I love it here. You have the call to action. So it's drawing me in by saying it's a gentle healing. It's not something that, you know, yeah, this might hurt, but it's for your own good. It's something that I am going to look at and see, oh, yeah, I could definitely use some of that, because, you know, sometimes when you have chiropractors or something, not that I'm picking on chiropractors, but sometimes you're the healing can be a little bit more difficult. And so knowing that this is a more gentle approach is something that is very good and engaging. And you have the call to action right there. That's awesome. So we have here, good, you got information, your product descriptions, everything looks pretty concise. And again, the information to contact, I love it. And you have it down here as well in order to do that. So when we're looking at these websites, what I'm looking at most is we want to know first and foremost, who is the audience? Let me see if I can fix this. Is that better for you guys? All right. So let's go on. Next we have Deborah. I'm sorry, give me just a second. We're having a little technical issue. All right. So we have here, we want to determine who our audience is. And obviously that's someone, real people who need to have better nutrition, want to, improve their lives and their health. So that's good. And I like the fact that with the pain points, you didn't directly say them out, but they're stated in your answer to them. It's real nutrition, real people. And then you have a nice hook. It's simple. Let's get started on your new path. It's enough to draw you in. And with good copy, always remember that good copy and good pictures go together. So I like the fact that you have this pathway and that you're starting on the new path, so that the hook and the image actually combine together to give you a better sense of not inclusion, but a better hook to draw people in and to let them know, oh, hey, I want to know more about this. Okay. All right, here we go. Cool. You have your call to action. You have the welcome. I like that. That's good. Gets people in the right place and let them know here. Click to make an appointment. That's good. You have your call to action. You have a brief description of what's going on here. I would actually say, as a recommendation, when you have the click to appointment, you could always have another button to make the phone call or have it in there. I'm not, it's okay that you've got it in here. I just, that's something that you can do there, like click and do the phone call as well. Testimonials, that's always good. Obviously make sure that, you read them before you put them up. I don't think anybody's got an issue with that, but that's good to see that, somebody else is saying, yes, these people are who they say they are. They can be trusted. That's another part of the copy. You want to have testimonials on your page so that people can see that and go, oh, they're full of knowledge and compassion. That's the kind of people that I want to work with. So that's good. You've got another call to action. It's a different message. So you're actually talking to your primary audience group up here, and now you've got a different message down here, and you're doing that. And that's fine, because sometimes you're going to have in a case where you have two different types of people and or two different types of target audience, and it's okay. You want to be able to talk to them separately. You don't ever want to try and combine the two together, because most often they're not the same and it's not going to work well. So good job. All right, we got Donna. All right, so the target audience here is pretty specific. That's good. You're recognizing right away. You have a call to option right here. It's a personal, like a welcoming, trying to be warm and soft without actually having, without being in your face. Because a lot of times, like if you have immediate calls to action, it can be seen as a little aggressive. But in this case, it's something where, you're about help. And if you need to help, here's a real person that you can talk to. So this obviously is the point, the pain point for your audience, your target, and you are offering your assistance. So the answer to their pain point is to let them know, first of all, that you're not alone and that we can help. We're here to surround you with love, understanding, and support. I like that. It's a good, it's good to draw you in. A lot of times in this situation, it's it can be very emotional and very trying, and to know that there's support there is good. You have the call to action so that you're hooked in by, we're here to help you. We want you to be calm. We want you to have love and understanding, and then you give them an opportunity to talk to somebody and receive what they need. Okay, all right, there. So you've got, that's good. So you've got multiple ways that you can contact whatever you feel comfortable with. You have your, here's where I might be a little concerned, confused. If your goal is to do adoption, if that's the goal right away, then yes. But if it's support services and you're not going to be giving your child up for adoption, then this might be better rearranged. in order to make sure that, you know, we're not pushing you in that direction. That's an option for you. So I know that you didn't, it was not up there right away, so that's good. But if that's what your main goal is to do, then that might be something that you need to include either up here or make sure like list it as part of your services um, before this, so that they know that, you know, that is open and open to them. All right. And here we go with something a little lighter. Falsies lashes. Fresh, fabulous, fearless. Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. National Selfie Day. Well, obviously, this is towards people who love selfies, and it looks more geared towards women because I know that I don't engage in selfies myself. But I like this here. The only thing that I would say is that this is a little busy. You might want to rework it and like pare it down a little bit. Maybe use some of these in a different part of your site. And I like what you're saying here. And I think that you actually have a good way to, where's my computer? The thing that I would say with this here is that you might use this as a hook. Like this is a good mission statement, but your mission is not just to, you know, tell people what it is that you do, but you also to engage them so that they want to know more. So I would actually say that this is this is an example where a cliche is very effective. Eyes are the windows to the soul. And every woman has a beautiful soul if you dare to look. So what does your customer in this want? They want to have, you know, they want to have beauty. They want to have the, you know, good lashes. And I think that you have an opportunity to state that more. And I think that it would, this mission statement maybe, and as my suggestion would be maybe down a little bit further, or have something in here where we more address with a simple hook to engage people more, so that then when they go to the about or they scroll down and look at the mission, they see, oh, this is what they want to do. That's what I need. But I think that you need to have something in here that states a little bit more further up here, like as a hook, a variant on that as a hook, so that you can draw people in and then tell them a little bit more detail what it is that you do. I like that you have the call to action so that you can book, and you have the different services available, and you can view availability. So you're engaging them here. I like the photos. I actually know my wife is somebody who loves Audrey Hepburn, so it's a nice it's a nice thing there. And then you have an opportunity. This is actually, I would say, something that, because this is not more your target audience, I would actually say that this would be better served for you on a different page, so that, you know, you can spend more of this page on selling your business, not just selling period, but selling your business and yourself. Okay. There we go, sorry. J. Nicole Consulting. All right, so in here we have who is our target audience. Professionals. What is their pain point? They need some help, maybe get a better career or something else in there. So we have professional career coaching services. So we're identifying with the audience. We're talking to them about what it is that they want and their need. And it doesn't always have to be like, this is a good example of, you don't have to have a question, although, you know, those are very effective, but you don't have to have a question. You can imply the question with the answer that you have in there. The only thing that I would say here is that I actually would probably switch these two because this is a little bit of a stronger, like, initial grasp message. So start down your best path to success should be in a bigger, the bigger font, and then you're saying what you are. So you're identifying the pain points and the answer to them right away, and we know that we're going to be on our best path. That's the initial hook that you want, and I think that that actually would serve you better there. So, and it's better at drawing you in, which is what we want. We want to give them that little bit of a trailer for the movie. Start down your best path to success. Hey, I need that. We're professional career coaching services. We got it. You have the call to action. I like this. We're good. You have simple, like, you know, smaller paragraphs. You don't want to overwhelm your audience with too much verbiage on your website because they're not going to have, most people are not going to have the attention span to read giant long paragraphs. You might actually even be able to get away with doing a little bit less on here and still getting the same point across. Just so that it keeps it more so that the people don't feel overwhelmed with all the stuff that you do. I like this right here. You you have the call to subscribe and sign up for you. So you've got multiple calls of action. That's good. This is another example of, excuse me, we're capturing essence with photos and with design. So that's something else that's really good on here. Like, you have really engaging photos and a good design on here. And you have this thing where you have a professional person drinking coffee. They've got this colorful handkerchief, and you want them to come and join you in your, you know, join up with your email. So here you have, I do apologize. My mouse does not want to cooperate today. There we go. So here you have your option to get started. And then here you have an option to join us. I like that you have your social media links on there. The only thing that I would say on here is, like, to reword some of these here to match your photos, because you've got great photos and design. And I think that if you reworded some of this and maybe cut it down a little bit, you would be stellar. So I like this site. It's good. All right. Is there anybody else? We got time. I can do one more. That was the last one.